Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark, your fat friend.
What is going on right now? Well, I'm James, your black friend.
And this is the Fat and Black Connection.
I can't. Where we talk about anything and everything as long as it's interesting to us. What is going on right now?
I don't know. Welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, April
Yeah,
2nd, 2024. This is obviously not our normal show day, but
correct.
we've got such exciting news, and we also have such exciting guests that we've been trying to get on this show for quite some time.
Yeah,
And we were
schedules just happened to work out today.
we were afforded the opportunity to get them on, and so we did. But before we go into that, first and foremost, James, tonight I will be drinking Battleborn beer.
I've had Battleborn. They're quite delicious.
Born and brewed in the heart of Nevada. I've never had this before. It's 12 ounces of easy drinking lager. So, I figure I've got a sixer. We've got some great guests for tonight. Let's see what I can do.
Well, actually, so while you're doing that, there's a couple things that I happened to find today. I didn't know about this until today. So remember a while back that I tried the Mountain Dew, the hard Mountain Dews.
Yes.
Okay, so they put out a new one, Live Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they put out this. Apparently, this is now in the box now, but this replaced one of the other flavors that I really liked. So now it's Live Wire is in there. It is now the regular Mountain Dew, the Baja Blast, and the watermelon. So those are now the four. Also, recently on the show, I drank the ice Starburst drinks, and so they had come out with orange and lemon,
yellow. Yeah, the two least favorite Starburst flavors.
But guess what I found today?
Oh snap!
Strawberry and cherry.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I found these so if you're looking, I found these at Walmart. I grabbed this at Albertsons. It was a tall boy. I just grabbed that. There is also one more thing that I had to try because somebody had this in their bag at work this past week, and I was just like, I have to try it. I don't know.
Pringles, but I can't make out. You're holding it like right up at the light and stuff.
Yeah, sorry. Here we go.
There we go. Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, Philly cheesesteak Pringles. Oh, but not only that, I happened to run across this one while I was there too. I don't know.
Chili cheese fries Pringles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna give those a try.
And let me ask you something really quick. Do you like Swedish fish?
I do like Swedish fish.
Do you like jelly beans?
I do enjoy jelly beans.
Swedish fish jelly beans.
Oh, that's just what Sour Patch Kids have done many a times.
I've never seen this, never had it. So I obviously couldn't pass up the opportunity. So
absolutely not.
There are some chips that I'm interested in trying, neither of which did you show. I don't know if you saw this, but Lay's has released an IHOP Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
That had to be an April Fool's Day joke.
Yes, it was. Of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that sounds absolutely gross.
So, anyways, for those of you joining us tonight, we have special guests. Oh, by the way, it is April 2nd. It is 8:06 p.m. on the left coast, west coast, nothing but the best coast. So we are live and interactive.
Oh,
the Philly cheesesteak?
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Oh,
Does it taste more meaty, more cheesy, more oniony?
It's a cheese and like that meat flavor.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
That's amazing. All right, let me open these two. Let me see what these taste like.
So James is responsible for chat tonight. So if you are commenting and they're not being read, it's
okay.
Not
we only have it's okay because we only have two. I'm on the wrong mouse. We have Jimmy's checking in, of course. He says
Walrus.
Fence Walrus. And I was like, I don't know.
My name is Fence.
And then he says, tell me. So
I called Jimmy specifically earlier today to say he should probably tune in tonight because this is going to be a good one. And Jimmy's had these guys on before.
Storylink is so.
Oh, Swedish
here.
Swedish fish jelly beans. Is that even legal? Oh. Yeah,
well, it's made by
they are Shannon. These are These are deadly delicious. I just tried a handful. So, Shandon Loring, also known as Michael from Murphy's Inc. Great to have you here.
I don't know how I really feel about the chili cheese fries. I can taste the chili. I could tie into taste the fries. So, I mean, it's okay, but
so it is exciting. We've got, as we've mentioned before and referenced these guys many times in many different ways, but we've never actually had them on before. The dynamic father-son duo of Lumpia fame, Lawrence and Diego Iriarte. They're going to join us. They're coming
here
on. And as a matter of fact, they're here.
They're here. They're here.
What's up, folks?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So we've got Lawrence and
Hooray!
Diego joining us this evening. Welcome to the Fat and Black Connection. It's fantastic to have you guys here. Finally.
Yes. We have arrived.
the dynamic father-son duo has come back. Well, actually, just for the first time.
Yes.
Back again for the first time. As
They
this
have
is coming.
joined us at cons before. And speaking of, we've got 4 cons coming up this year that you'll be joining us at. We've talked about them here, but first up, we've got Powerhouse Comic-Con in Antioch, California on June 8th. So just over 2 months away. That'll be the first time we'll have seen each other in person in 7 months, 8 months. So
yeah.
Wow.
but you guys have been crazy busy. So before we go into what you guys have been up to and what we're going to be doing together and whatnot, first let's start by introducing ourselves, if you will. So I like to say, first up, we'll do father. No offense, Diego. We'll do father first.
He
so
did
Lawrence,
help create son, so
right. So that'll probably be a part of his byline, right? So Lawrence, take a couple minutes. Tell us who you are and why people should care that you're here.
Well, I'm Lawrence Iriarte, the producer of the indie film Lumpia with a Vengeance, the crowd-funded sensation that took Comic-Con by storm, as well as the Comic-Con Museum, the independent movie that was put together by the community that has supported the original movie, Lumpia the movie, that was made by 14, 15-year-old kids almost 20 years ago in Daly City, and demanded a sequel. And I'm the producer of the sequel, Lumpia with a Vengeance, which exploded onto Comic-Con and WonderCon and many other conventions, including New York Con. Completely done, crowdfunded, which is a big deal. And another big deal is 98% is done with Filipino talent, as well as filmmakers behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, ranging from new folks and new faces, as well as the community faces, but as well as it features Danny Trejo as one of the villains, Katrina Demaran, Miss Philippines International, as one of the villains. It's April Absence from Blind Spotting, her from Hulu television series, who broke out. Again, that's her breakout role as well. It also has Joey Aguila, who's traveling and shot movies with Joe Coy, comedian, and a truckload of music talent that you won't believe from the Filipino community, but also the top pop freestyle charts of the Bay Area. It is loaded of pride of Filipinos, but made for the masses, from fan bases to comic book folks. If you're a nerd, you're going to love this film. Completely crowdfunded. So it also has Dame Louis Theroux doing a special jig in there. So he makes a special appearance, cuts a rug or two. You got to check it out. And also it broke off to do comic books. Again, a series of indie comic books, several different titles that expands what we call the deep fried universe of the movie itself, as well as the sequel. And it's never been done. It's never been like to this degree of independent comic book publishing and independent filmmaking. There's never been a franchise that's broken out, as well as been brought into the Comic-Con museum in San Diego, which has been an honor, and which my son has been one of the few folks to be featured, as well as give a demonstration, and that's who that guy is over there.
So before we go to Diego, one thing, maybe share with the folks. While yes, Lumpia is fantastic and all, you've worked on some other stuff too.
Yeah, I've actually been what's called a ghost artist for several major titles, some of which you know as the Marvel universe, and some of them from the DC universe. I've been very blessed to have worked from different legendary folks that have taught me and brought me up, working both as an assistant and as a ghost artist, working side by side and learning a great deal. I've been doing it for 35 years, and the big deal for myself is to finally come out with my credits, specifically to have my name on a title of books, and also to be also featured along with my son at the Comic-Con Museum, which has been a dream, and to be featured right across the exhibit of Stan Lee, with my son, with our work in our names, which is so it's been an honor. It's been a long journey, but I've living in the shadows of greatness. I've been very blessed and thankful, but it's been nice to actually share the title of artist, comic book artist, as well as a comic book writer for our titles, on a few of the stories, but also to be featured in covers, actually do the cover with my name, finally with my name, which was a big deal. That's been the crazy wild ride since this movie's been come out, and to finally just be acknowledged as one of the artists from the industry.
No longer in the shadows.
No longer a ghost.
No longer a ghost. I'm here. I'm no longer a phantom.
Awesome. So, Diego, you're up. Who are you, and why should people care?
I am a comic book artist for Lumpia. I've designed many of the newer villains, and I've presented our new heroes that are up and coming. And I've been working on quite a few new titles coming soon, and some of them I hope to share with you.
Fantastic.
And Diego, I can tell you this now because you're here. I have been, Mark can tell you, I have been singing your praises on this show because, like I said, I've known you. Well, I mean, I've known you since you were a baby. So, and I've seen your art from when you were a kid to now, and I'm just like, bro,
he's kind of got better.
just a little bit. Like this guy. Here's the crazy thing. So I remember. I'm sure you remember this, Diego. What was it? The new food machine. Was that what it's called?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So back when Lawrence was teaching at Ohlone College in Fremont, Diego actually came up, and he had a school project that he had to do. And so this. I mean, how old were you at that time? I think you were in junior high.
Yeah. I was
junior high,
13
elementary
years old.
He was still young, and he had college students listening to him, like following what he was saying. Like he was directing this whole thing. I just happened to be the person that he asked to star in said film. It was a silent film, so it worked out really great for me.
That worked out really well for the audience too.
So it was like a Charlie Chaplin type film, like kind of grainy black and white. It was a ton of fun. And like this guy he's so talented. I can't say enough about him. I love this kid. I mean, like I said, I've known him since he was a baby, and just his passion. He is his father's son. He is definitely his father's son because they have the same passions, and the care and love that they have for it really shows. And that's actually one of his works right there on screen. Do you remember that? You remember that one, Diego, right?
I hope so. It wasn't that long ago.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah,
that was I had a blast doing that.
Yeah, I and then of course I still have the original sketch done by you two.
Uh-oh.
And in a moment I'll bring up the finished piece. But yeah,
Uh-oh.
I can't say enough about you guys. You know, I feel privileged to get to know you guys, work with you guys. I'm hoping that's a you issue, Diego, not a us issue, but I guess we'll find out. Because I do see lag, but that's not uncommon for James. James has lag a lot, so.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyways, so part of the reason that we've been desperately wanting to get you guys on here is because we are, you know, working together. Lawrence, we had you last year direct a number of episodes for Murphy's Inc. Do you want to talk about that experience from your perspective and how you felt about working on that?
Oh,
Or no?
where'd he go?
And he's gone.
He said, "Bye, gotta go."
Deuces. All right. So, Diego, do you want to speak on behalf of your father? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, here, let me do my best.
So there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about tonight, things we want to announce. And he said, I got a text, my signal became choppy. I might go over to Diego. So are you guys in the same space, same venue?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So
we're just in different rooms.
oh, well,
So
that
it
might be why.
it might save us on the bandwidth.
I was gonna say that sometimes can do it.
What we'll do.
Oh no, are we losing him too?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Are you still
Hello?
there, Diego? Live. This is live, people.
Yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, indeed. So, Diego, we talked about Powerhouse Comic Con coming up this year. You've been to Powerhouse Comic Con. Actually, you know, we saw in the background of Lawrence's camera an exclusive piece that was done for Powerhouse, I think last year or the year before. James and I, we've never been to Powerhouse. So tell us about it. What's it like?
Powerhouse is a total blast. It's a small show, but what's wonderful about it is that you have all the different local comic book artists from the area, and it allows essentially fans who are not able to go to WonderCon or like the shows in San Francisco to kind of meet in the great in between spot. That's what I love about it.
So are you saying San Francisco is on par with WonderCon, which you were just at?
Yes.
Okay, so
There he is.
and to that effect, tell us, you and your father, the dynamic duo father-son, were at WonderCon this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was a total blast. Like we got to reconnect with or some of my and my dad's artist friends that we've guest on with, and like I can't say it enough. Like
He's
I
being
love-
modest. He's being very modest. Diego is friends with folks from Image Comics and Marvel Comics. Like, I mean, when he says artist friends, people think like college students. No, these are professionals who are working on like Game of Thrones and Spawn and some major titles.
My man's over here. Yeah, you know, just some artist friends.
Yeah, just don't. I'm glad that he's not throwing names, but you know, out of respectfulness. But I just wanted to let people out there that
well, like you know,
it's kind of like
context.
I played. My dad and I, we were hanging out and like hanging out with the band, and it turns out it's Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. You know, just like that's what I'm talking about. Is that he's talking to the legends of the industry and not just talking. They're
So
like
I was having lunch with Todd McFarlane, and you know, we were shooting the breeze. I'm not saying that that's who he's been hanging out with, folks. I'm just
It's like, so I'm just like letting you guys know that he's polite, being very polite, and I'm very proud of that. But Diego's artist friends are people who are well established in the industry, very respectful, talented artists that you can go into a comic book shop and just instantly their work is all over the place. So Very great group.
And I'm sure, Diego, you are doing your best to convince some of these folks to come to the fabulous Carson City for KaboomCon on September 7th.
Indeed, I have. We're gonna hear some words soon.
Yes,
Gonna hear some words soon.
I'm hoping to be able to say some names here in the near future, so I need you guys to.
We're hoping that you'll be able to meet Diego's friends.
Yes.
Actually, they are friends. They, without a doubt, they are friends.
Yes.
But we're hoping you'll get to know them a little bit more intimately when in a very near future.
So we can become friends.
Yeah.
And speaking of some Diego specific art, if you're interested, head over to the QR code and pick up his variant issue of Gemini #2.
Oh,
Yeah, and I will say, folks, they go fast. I mean, whatever's there, that's it. And
Here comes the humble brag.
So
go ahead, Lawrence. Humble brag.
So, proud dad to say that Diego is one of the first artists from the Comic-Con Museum to have his cover original art bought directly off the wall from the museum.
Wait, Diego, are you one of the you have to be like one of the youngest ones in there, right?
Yeah. So I'm the young, or I believe I'm the youngest to do a demo and
Ever.
have art presented, and I'm for sure the first youngest person to have their work sold ever at the museum.
Off the floor.
Off the floor.
Off the floor.
So, yeah.
Came up and said, "This one's mine."
Yeah.
It was
It's
tricky.
very, really loving couple. Showed their incredible support. They love the artwork. His cover specifically, the Gemini 1. Gemini 1 Rain cover. And it's that comic book, just to let folks know, it's sold out. There, you cannot get Diego's cover unless it's already. And I believe this cover has been CGC'd. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe it's been CGC'd by different people.
And if you don't know what that is, it's now in the database system that Diego is now. His name is circling around Comic Book Legends. It's been graded, so there's actual value to these comic books where people could actually measure up to how much it is.
What?
Yeah. So, and it's been sealed in like what's called a slab. So, if you find it, I highly recommend buying one off the shelf. We've seen a few shops randomly through San Francisco that are carrying one issue. But if you see Diego's covers out on the stands, or if you see it still available online, I highly recommend. I've actually bought 3 myself, so I just like I'm making sure that I could retire nicely under my
retire off your son, huh?
It's like deck cards. Think about the future.
And I want to go back to a statement that Lawrence, you had made before in regards to Lumpia, just because I'm interested. You had a very specific unit of measurement of 98% Filipino talent involved with Lumpia. How did you guys arrive at that number?
We just through the cast and crew. I'm the producer, so looking at like the amount of people who's on that sheet, and just realizing, wow, we have a crew that's 98% of is Filipino.
And was the 2% James?
If you had seen just the cast and crew that was there the day that I was there, that is a correct estimation.
You would swear it's a wedding.
That was a lot of fun. And let me tell you, I've worked on a number of different like things in the for background and things like that, but I think working on Lumpia with a Vengeance had some of the best food. I don't know.
What's their Lumpia in catering?
You know what? Actually, that's weird. I don't think there was.
That's unfortunate.
That is funny because I don't think there was Lumpia there unless somehow, because I was kind of in the back, so unless somehow I missed it, but
we had it there on different days. At
least the day that I was there, it wasn't there. But The food was amazing though.
And Lawrence is going to step away for a moment. I'm hoping it's not permanently. I'm hoping it's short for a moment. But there's some fun things that we've got coming up on the horizon. We've mentioned Powerhouse Comic Con, and Diego, you and your father are both working on the Murphy's Inc. comic book.
Yes.
So I wanted to segue into this by talking about your father working on the audio drama for a couple of episodes, but unfortunately he bounced. So we'll just go straight to it. So tell us. So we've kind of collabed a little bit on what we want to see. When the time period that it's taking place, which is ironic with a time traveling show. But for you, where are we at? Because we've talked about the Murphy's Inc. comic book on this show, that it is coming. It is heading in a direction. So tell us.
Yeah, I mean, what's awesome is that we start off immediately in the Jurassic period, and it's a awesome hardcore introduction to those who have not been introduced to this universe. I love your writing structure of how we're in the moment, and then we're seeing how did we get here.
Mm-hmm.
It's I believe it's the perfect way for anybody to dive in, and it's been a blast, like designing and doing the layouts. Like it's so fun, Mark.
No, that's obviously exciting to hear from my perspective, because I I'm not a comic book guy. I mean, I read comic books. I'm a nerd.
What?
Don't get me wrong, but I am not a
Let's go,
comic book.
son. Let's go.
I'm not a comic book writer. I'm not a comic book creator. I am definitely not an artist. I pay people for their talents to do those things, right? I'm a script writer. I'm an audio drama producer. I'm an actor. I'm a singer. I used to could dance, but comic books, I will read them. I am a consumer of. But
You're back in the club. You're back in the club.
Yes. Nowhere close to Jimmy Jones over at Pop Culture Kaboom. He is a connoisseur of comic books. He actually has a show, in case you guys haven't heard, called Shop Chatta, where he is now producing this show where it's talking about the comic book industry, but from a comic book shop's perspective, like running a comic book store, what it's like
awesome.
Ordering comic books, the lead time on that stuff.
That's awesome.
So it's really a different angle that's kind of unique and interesting. And so, Lawrence, you had dropped out, but we were talking about Murphy's Inc. And,
yes,
of course, you directed a couple of episodes during season 2.
Yes. It was a blast. It was really, really, really fun.
So we were, I was going to use that as the segue into the comic book, but then you disappeared. So talk about, from your perspective, the comic book. Where's it at? When's it coming? Diego kind of gave a little tease of we're starting right in the Jurassic period, if you will. And it's we jump right in. We wanted to jump right in and give everybody the sense of adventure that I believe the radio show I was vibing off of, like going, wow, this would be great if we just treat the comic book as if it were an action film and basically throw in as much of the dollars that is not needed to actually create this imagery in big world sense. Mm-hmm. And so we've opened it up to say, hey, let's do everything big. We'll do all the big stuff and we'll take care of what it looks like. And we're hoping that people will go get the comic book or go online when the digital portion of it is released, and then listen to the series and see like who's that. Kind of like what we did with Lumpia. By having a movie, they could actually go back to the comic book and go, those are those characters, and see these scenes and make them bigger. That's the greatest thing about comic books and the love that Diego and I have, is that honestly, there's no real budget other than the printing cost of it. So anything you write down on the piece of paper, it can be big. We could do dinosaurs, or even we could do
we could do a school of dinosaurs.
Right. No, and that's exactly it, right? When you think about the cost of making Jurassic Park the film from the CGI perspective, millions and millions of dollars, which none of us have.
Right.
So let's just do drawings or audio only.
Yeah.
We're experiencing that over with Oak Bridge, right, James, where we've got this creature, if you will, right?
Yeah.
We've created imagery for it through Jam, the artist, which you guys famously work with, and the audio. Joe Bly, the guy, is a wizard, and just creating.
He is, we there. Don't get me wrong, like there's some work that's going to be done, but overall it started. I mean, we have a description. We have a description of this character, of this creature. We don't see it. We actually don't see the creature until what I think episode 8 or something, 8 or 9 on there.
Or because we never
in the art? Imagery, in the art.
Yeah, I believe it's episode 8 or 9 that we'll see.
Yeah, so you won't actually see it, but you'll hear it, and then when you actually see it, you're gonna dig it.
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, and to your point of creating, one of the things that we've kind of discussed here on the show is that it's an audio drams. You will never see it. Okay. Yes, you will, because there's cover art.
There's a cover art for it.
But which, speaking of, in case you didn't know, Lawrence and Diego did the cover art for the final 6 episodes of season 2, which was, of course, fantastic.
I think we plugged that a lot.
Yes. We had that art on every week.
Yeah.
But going back to visually being able to tell a story, well, so one of the things, we've got Shannon Loring in the chat tonight, who plays Michael. Well, one of the things we're doing with the comic book series is we're taking it back, right? We're trying to, in essence, tell a story of how we got to the audio drama. I wouldn't call it a prequel. One, this isn't a movie, and two, it's really just establishing the backstory of these characters and who they were and how they came into being. And
so it's prequels.
Get the hell out of here. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily a main character, except, I think the comic is starting off, at least, it's going to be revolving around Michael and how he came to be a part of Murphy's Inc.
Yeah, and the fun thing is that Diego and I are giving a look that will establish a world. We're world building right now for you guys.
Absolutely.
And our Diego's design. I'm excited to share Diego's designs as we go along, as the months are getting closer and closer. We're going to start revealing a little bit more and more and teasing more about what this world looks like, what the means of travel, the different stages of the means of travel, and just the support group, which a lot of people don't realize is fun for us. Is to world building is just, you look at Star Wars, it took a team of hundreds of people to world build and different artists around it. And it's also like Stargate. Stargate started off as a movie, and then it became a television series, and they were able to world build even more. And essentially, that's what Diego and I are doing for Murphy's Inc. With the launch off, the start off, both the digital and as well as the hard comic book that we're presenting to you guys.
Nice.
Absolutely. And so with that in mind, so, we've got Murphy's Inc. that is being worked. But here tonight, we get to make some really cool special announcements.
Yes.
And talk about some really cool stuff. We mentioned a number of cons coming up that we're going to be attending. So we've mentioned Powerhouse. We've got Silver Age Comic-Con in July. That'll be in Reno. We've got Con for a Cause, Nerds United. That'll happen in August. And then, of course, the granddaddy of them all, Kaboom Con in September. And so along the way, you guys will be there, at our booths that we're getting, right? What are we going to be pushing, though? Are we just going to be trying to push for Kaboom Con? Are we going to be pushing for this Murphy's Inc. comic book? Because I think that's one thing, right? But I hear that those fantastic guys over at 97 to Now Productions. No, sorry, I said their name. Whenever I say their name, they just. So I hear that there's some things going on. Diego, Lawrence, you want to kind of take that away a little bit?
Absolutely. So what we, along with Murphy's Inc., we will be doing a thing called ICI Sound Comics. So it's the IC Sound Comics, and
Sorry, what?
IC Sound Comics, our brand, that features one Murphy's Inc. as one of the main title that we're launching off. And then we're about to launch a new universe of titles. Some of them related and some of them individual, and there'll be also the launch off pad to actually hand over to 97 to Now Productions to actually do the audiobooks to you. So if you've ever heard of what's called the power book records that were made during the 1970s, there are a series of comic books that were picked by both the Marvel and DC line, and they had full actors and sound effects and basically everything what is being done with Murphy's Inc. We're about to launch a comic book line for 97 to Now Productions under the IC Sound Comics brand.
Yeah.
And so one of them, which is like going to be one of my favorite. Yep, there you go. That's my and the reason why we're so ecstatic about this is that that actually was the 50 years ago. That was the product that brought me into comic books. So yeah, so literally 50 years to this within this year. 50 years marks the time when I actually can say this is the day I became a comic book fan. This is the day I became a toy collector. 50 years ago, I was exposed to Power Records, and it's been a dream of mine. And I've shared that for years with Diego growing up. That these are my favorite records. These are my favorite production. Which actually has spawned off another production that I am about to mention very soon. But with that, our line will include the story called Deebs, Deebs. And think of it as a Harry Potter, Winnie the Pooh meets the Wild Things and Godzilla.
What?
So it's one of my favorite pieces. We meet a very, very special fourth going on fifth grader who happens to be the world's greatest monster whisperer. So so we get to meet the people and the creatures that surround him. The summer after he saves the world. What is it like for this kid named Deebs, who's his family, his friends, and the town that he comes from, a little town that's kind of modeled after my hometown of Newark, California, and
Represent.
dial it back what it was like 50 years ago, and during the time when it was actually a dairy town, and we get to see these little facets of that place. And if you look closely at Deebs, he might look very familiar to a certain partner that I draw with. So, so it's a fun storyline that we're doing, and yeah, you know, we're collaborating with 97 to Now Productions, creating the IC Sound Comics, and launching off something that we hope is gonna really shake things up. And Diego, do you want to announce another one?
Yeah, within the works throughout my whole period of college, I've been working on one major project, which is the Fantastic Furious Fury Frog. And that is like Kamen Rider / Power Rangers, Spider-Man, and Static Shock, like all rolled into one. It is the journey of a young man Henry trying to figure out his place in the world and with superpowers, learning how to be a superhero and navigating college.
And it takes place in the very familiar city of.
It's in San Francisco, which I go to school there. Everything about it is I'm gonna try to capture all the aspects of the city and having a hero there, having our own Bay Area superhero.
And you're gonna love him because he really is modeled after facets of Diego's personality, and as well as some very familiar television show characters that we. Can I tell him, Diego?
Yeah, I suppose so.
So I want you guys to imagine if Richie Cunningham from Happy Days became a superhero, and so it's got that wholesome. I mean, he's this great, wholesome, positive guy, and then suddenly he's in a place that has these special abilities and opens up the world of the heroes that we're about to introduce you guys to.
And really quickly, I just want to make sure I got that right. Fantastic, Furious, Fury Frog.
Yeah,
Yes.
his name is Fury. Fury.
Yes, his name is Fury.
And so, quad F, if you will.
Yes,
Yeah,
quadruple F.
Yeah. 4 times the fun. 4 times the fun.
Extra fantastic.
Yeah. Extra furious. This is Fury Frog. So
As I like to say, let's get furious.
yeah. And that's coming out to audio, and we're hoping 97 to Now Productions is going to have a great time with the league of characters that Diego has created. They are fantastic, and the villains are just, you're going to love the story arcs. We plotted this out for we have some material for you guys to do some story arcs over a period of time that will see the character grow and just learn what it is to be one of the greatest heroes of all time. So, and it's a fun journey. It's a fun journey. And if you like Kamen Rider, you're gonna love this guy. If you like Happy Days with Richie Cunningham, you're gonna like this guy. Fury is one of the best guys.
And Diego,
It'll be
how
fun
much
for the entire
Happy
family.
Days have you watched?
Oh boy.
Monday, happy days.
Also, there's another character that he's based his character off of too as well.
Yeah, I've some of it's based off of Leave It to Beaver. It's
How old are you?
well,
You are an old soul, friend.
Those shows weren't on Nick at Night at that time.
I mean, there's a theme song. Let's put it this way: there's a theme song that Diego and I like we identify with. And here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. People talk
about your best friends. La 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 la
la la la.
Careful, more than 8 bars, and we're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But it's when he started writing this, like, I mean, I can't say enough because the supporting cast, the background of Fury and his secret identity and who knows what, such an original dynamic that we kept on saying, do we do it as a television show? Do we do it as an animation? But with 97 and Now Productions, we want people to hear Fury. We want people to see the action that he goes through and how different it is without the cost of shooting it and without the cost. So by having it as a comic book with a team of very talented people from 97 and Now Productions, it allows the fusion of what we've always wanted to do. And, and then in hopes that we might see Fury on the big screen, or on a regular, actually animated show. So that's our goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just so the audience knows, I've heard about these things, unfortunately, for a little while, and I've been, it's like a tease, right? You hear about some of these really cool things that these two are talking about, and you're like, oh my gosh, what are you waiting for? Like, because it's one of those things where I'm a producer at the end of the day. Lawrence, you probably get some of this, right? At the end of the day, I'm a producer. I am not I'm not you guys. I'm not artists. I'm not super creative, frankly. Like I've got some talent, I think, but
Oh, you're great.
I'm
You're
more.
great.
I like to take people's visions and make them reality. I started a business with a friend once called Fictionade. He wanted to create a website where writers could go to write short stories and get them published. And we had titles. His was CVO, Chief Visionary Officer, and I was the CMO, Chief Manifest Officer, because he
Wow.
envisioned things and I made them happen.
Wow.
And so, I've been hearing about, Deebs or fantastic. Good God, hold on. I have it written down, so I want to make sure fantastic, furious, fury frog. There we go. Okay. And it's like, these are great concepts. These are great stories. And this next one that you're going to talk about, I believe, again, there's a couple more to come, folks. This is we've gotten through 2 so far. This next one I think you're going to talk about, I only recently was made aware of. And I about lost my mind because it's like, why are you sitting on this?
Well,
What
it's a lot.
What are you waiting for?
Well, it's just the right time, and in 97 and Now Productions is actually, it is the wonderful team that's made the trigger to make this possible. So thank you to 97 to Now Productions. Without that, I don't think we could have launched it. And a lot of the artwork has been already done, and I will say, there's been recordings already been done on this particular project. We froze this just due to my involvement on Olympia, producing Olympia with a Vengeance, which went through a cycle of almost 10 years to actually make, because it is crowdfunded. It is not a studio film, so it takes time to actually build this film and do the touring. It just happens to be one of those things where time and efforts have come around, and now I was able to dust off things, thanks to 97 Now Productions actually asking to take a look at what do you have, and it seems like they liked it. So it's also tied in with Diego's world of Fury Frog, and through Fury Frog, think of him as, I wouldn't say, dare I say, the Spider-Man type character that introduces the Marvel Universe. So Fury is that type of character. He's that alpha that we get to see that there's a greater universe behind that, that goes beyond the city of San Francisco, that goes beyond the United States. So there's several different characters that we're reintroducing, but it also goes beyond the planet Earth. So in this story, we introduce you to...
Look at his face. Look at his face.
We introduce you to
Look at his face. It's
the
coming. He knows.
cosmic adventures of Light Trail. This is James knows this because he's actually recorded and seen, and he's seen the work in progress. He signed an NDA over 10 years ago. That he's recorded, and now we're going to start revealing what this looks like.
And I will tell you, he has never told me about this. Like, he's never once brought this up in any way, shape, or form. So when you brought it up, recently, it was like, wow, James can keep a secret.
Yeah, it's over 12 years that we recorded this, right, James? So
yeah,
it's
well,
been,
yeah,
it's been
good.
over 12 years that it was inception and it was recorded, and yeah, so
wait. Are we getting? Here's the main. Are we going to be able to get everybody back?
Through 97 and Now Productions, we're allowing some recasting, some re-recordings. So we're opening the universe of Light Trail, and also where I pick up the story of this. Here we go, the intergalactic story of an alien war to have its second round against Earth's mightiest hero, a teen boy who's forgotten that he's the greatest hero. So we introduce you to the world of Light Trail and about this mysterious Mosca, and you'll be hearing that. We'll be giving you the artwork to the audience, and you'll be following this great adventure that's about to happen, that unleashes behind the scenes of Fury. So while you're on Earth with Fury, this incredible intergalactic invasion, second war is coming to Earth. unknowns to the rest of the planet, and unknowns to the greatest champion that turned the war, turned the tide, and he's forgotten. You'll find out the entire story and the chapters that go along with it, as well as the multitude of supporting casts. This is truly our Star Wars. It is an epic story that goes just beyond several different universes, and it's a great. If you like science fiction, if you like the characters like Thanos and Darkseid, it's fully inspired by Jack Kirby, the world of the new gods. And if you like Jack Kirby, these characters were inspired by his works, inspired by the works that I got a chance to actually do in both companies, and never had a chance to actually pitch this. So this is actually the opportunity to bring to 97 to Now Productions the world of sound, because the comic book was constructed as a sound comic book. So the performances is made, the dialogue is made to be heard. The special effects, the battles and whatnot was made to be heard. So because I've been such a big fan of radio broadcasting, as well as the Power Records, and this is the thing that that James has secretly kind of like tucked away, and now he gets a chance to actually play one of the characters. James plays one of the aliens. It's a war between three brothers, a very, very vicious war.
Wait, did you add one?
There's three, and there's always been three, and now
see, I only knew about two.
You knew what you needed to know.
Yeah, so now it's great because now
Okay.
we pick up the story in a very very different manner, in which we're excited because it's going to be picked up in a place where James is unaware, but he's already done the performance for. So it's going to be fun.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it just works out that it's been dormant this entire time, and we use that dormancy to the advantage of the story, about a hero that doesn't remember that he was the hero, and we get a chance to actually see that all come to play. And that light trail opens up the rest of the universe, the different supporting cast between Fury and in the light trail character, and you'll find out more about the Mosca and the different intergalactic aliens that are involved, the different types of superheroes that are actually in space. So essentially, you're going to meet our version of a Fantastic Four, our version of a Green Lantern Corps, our version of
Guardians,
of the Guardians of the Universe.
Yeah.
So, and they're not swipes. They're more like, okay, that's you'll be able to see the classic interpretations of these characters. And again, they're greatly inspired by Jack Kirby. I mean, really inspired by Jack Kirby. And I was very fortunate enough to actually meet and hear his inspiration about like creating things of this nature, of big, and
you got the Senator's learning tree.
Yep. And so, what's great about this is that the backstory of Light Trail was actually created to be as a live performance for a musician. So we'll get more into that, and you know, and we'll get more into learning about Light Trail. So
this next one,
yes,
I will be honest, like I'm selfishly like giddy about. You know, anybody who knows me, once Lauren starts talking about this, will understand why I would be giddy about this. And I think it is, you know, what we've heard so far, right? Some of these stories and ideas, I love them all. Otherwise, we, you know, wouldn't be talking about it. But this next one, like, if you had pitched nothing else, if you had told me about nothing else, like, you would have hooked me with just this one. So please go ahead.
So this story comes around because I've been a fan of this. Is actually one of the first things I've ever drawn. I don't know if I shared that with you, but this is the first. This marks the 50th anniversary of the first time I've actually drawn this character. So this character has been part of my life for that many years. I've always I grew up with this character, and done a few sketches meaning sketches, meaning like outlines and possibilities of what I can do with this, in lieu of being hired to possibly do this character. But long story short, it was just a long journey, and it seemed like an impossibility. So it just sat in the drawer, and lo and behold, thanks to what's called a thing called public domain, it's allowed me to do this as of January. You will hear and see the fantastic world of Steamboat Willie. So I can honestly say that it's what we're doing is true to the Steamboat Willie character, as well as the supporting characters as Pete and Minnie Mouse are in the cartoon. But also we take them on a completely left turn that allows them to be part of a adventure that I've always thought Mickey Mouse could have always been. But for the sake of maintaining Mickey and in fear of not scaring off folks, I think they maintain a certain storyline. But I want you to think that this is Lost meets Gulliver's Travel meets Jules Verne's Adventures. So we get to go Mickey right after the boat takes off. So we go in Steamboat Willie, and we take the boat, and the middle was lost. So that's essentially
3-hour tour.
So
Started off that way.
So
Started
that's
off
what.
that way.
So you could actually match up the cartoon along the line with where we go and where exactly Steamboat Willie was going, and then we're off to the adventure of the fantastic world of Steamboat Willie.
And I will tell you, the main reason that I personally am on board in supporting this is that, unlike Winnie the Pooh of Blood and Honey,
Stupid.
is that you are staying true to the character.
Yes.
That to me,
Yes.
Walt Disney is one of my hugest inspirations in life and creativity, in leadership, and so any of these companies that are making horror video game of Steamboat Willie,
It's like, bro, why?
I can't. And so, when you and I talked about this, and, I could tell and I could sense you want to stay true to the character.
Absolutely.
That's the most important part.
Absolutely. What's great about the restrictions about public domain is that we have to stay within this version of Mickey Mouse.
Mhm.
And because of that, it actually lends to the story. It actually lends to how we're delivering, because you're going to see Steamboat. Just to give you a little hint, because Diego and I have been doing tests, you'll see Steamboat Willie as classic as he can be. He'll be classic, and the boat will be classic right from the movie. And then he goes on these adventures, and everything else looks fantastic. So the worlds where his journey takes him, the different places that he takes them, the people they encounter are all in a different type of dimension of drawing, and this allows Mickey to actually stand out amongst everything else. So you will be always able to find Mickey, classic Mickey, on the book, because he stands out versus what everybody else looks like.
So from a comic perspective, will this purely be black and white, or will Mickey and friends, if you will, be black and white in a potentially colored world?
Mickey will always be black and white. Mickey will always, in what the rest of the world, you'll have to read the comic book to actually see it. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
If you like Roger Rabbit, I think you'll like this. So
And Roger Rabbit was one of my favorite movies growing up.
So I think I can honestly say we stay true. We stay, and we treat Mickey and Minnie very, very respectfully, and it's the adventure that I've always wanted to do. Slew of, like, again, a budget, and actually animating it. So we're gonna try to give the sense of an animated adventure book for all ages, because I want families to be able to enjoy Mickey in a way that I've always dreamed about since I was a kid, and staying true to Mickey. I want people to have fun with Mickey, the world I create around him, will be the adventure that he goes on. But Mickey will always stay Mickey.
And for me, like, I've always felt that some of the best Mickey stories have been when they take other properties and put a Mickey spin on it. Jack and the Beanstalk or
Mhm.
Christmas Carol, Prince and the Pauper, right?
Exactly.
And so I think that that's a huge opportunity that Disney has missed over the decades, especially as, true Disney fans, Disney files know, from around 1950 to like 1980, Mickey wasn't really used. And that's a huge period of time where there's a lot you could have done with him.
Yeah, I could understand why, as they're creating other works and to broaden the Disney brand. But that's the reason why public domain exists, is to allow the opportunity to actually explore where you could not, and to educate and weigh out. I want people to see, this is what makes Mickey Mickey. This is
Mhm.
this is what you put him in this situation where he goes. I want to tell you the worlds that he goes to on Willie, but I want to save it just because I want you to have that Jules Verne feel, like this, Jason and the Argonauts type of feel of putting Mickey in a place where that you would never expect it. And the great thing is that Diego's angles are, when you look at Diego's comic book stuff, and to put it with Mickey Mouse, and then also Diego has an animation background.
Yeah, which I think is kind of, for me, this is very surreal to be able to work on, because I've been through the history of animation class, and I've seen all the different versions of Mickey,
Mhm.
and for this is like, as a person who's studied animation and who does animate, this is kind of like the ultimate like test to see, like, can you stay to drawing Mickey,
Mhm.
and also, like, in terms like environment and everything that we're going to be doing, like, in my mind, this feels like I'm doing the Odyssey almost,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels so epic.
I think that he pitched it the best way, is that Diego said that we're doing the Mickey Mouse version of the Odyssey, and that's the best way to explain it, with newer characters without drawing them like Mickey Mouse. So Mickey Mouse is the only one that looks like Mickey Mouse.
Nice.
So you'll get Diego's like animated background and his incredible perspective and his design, the design that we're going through each adventure. So
I just think, like Mark said, I think it's just dope that you guys are keeping it. You're keeping it classic.
Oh yeah.
You're not trying to, like, we've talked about some of the stuff on the show. It was like, why are you trying to make this something that's not?
I think it's just fun, because a very good example is Robin Hood. You've seen several different versions of Robin Hood. One where he doesn't have an English accent and he's a baseball player. I mean,
This is true.
did I say that, son? I don't know. Did I? But
I didn't hear that. What was that, Dad?
but Robin Hood is a very good character. You've had it played by Earl Flynn, and then you've had it played by Frank Sinatra, and then you've had it played by Kevin Costner. Just like they're just
And a cartoon fox.
Yes, and a cartoon fox. So keeping Mickey, and then but just putting him in these worlds that could have for the fact that him being on Steamboat Willie is just like, wow, this actually works, and for the fact that the boat is the type of boat that you saw in Steamboat Willie, where it bends and it chugs and goes through its classic movement, it allows us to explore it, and then how they get from place to place, the explanation of why it continues to bend, it just makes sense. So it just like I said, it's Jules Verne. It's like Diego said, the Odyssey, literally the Odyssey meets Gilligan's Island. Skipper, just you get all that, and Minnie and Mickey, like they and Pete, they all, including the parrot, they all have these incredible like moments, and then you meet the rest of the supporting cast, the rest of the cast of the minnow, that we bring on, and it just explains everything, and it's been a fun It's been a fun design, a fun ride, a fun as we do each adventure, and there is an ending. We have an ending to the fantastic world of Steamboat Willie. So and just to let everybody know too that Diego and I are writing to have an ending. So there is an ending to each one of these stories.
Yeah, nothing of ours we intend to be infinite. Like each of ours is meant to be having an ending that's meant to have an audience embark on a journey and connect with. It's not meant to be like an infinite story that just keeps going and going and going. I think probably one of the best ways to describe what we're trying to do with Mickey, another character that is public domain is like, let's say, Dracula.
Mhm.
When in each incarnation of Dracula, everybody does their own thing, but it's all different, and both within actors, but also story. Like, Castlevania's Castlevania. You also know like the movies that are separate, and within the different versions, and what authors have done is introduce a character like Alucard and stuff like that, but it's still Dracula. It's never deviated, and within what we're doing within Mickey's, it's still Mickey. We're not deviating in an extreme different way. We're staying tuned to the soul of the character.
Yeah, Mickey is Mickey without a doubt, and just even he does learn. Like he learns from this journey. He will learn. He will have a sense of loss, but we will see Mickey lose, break down in the ways that you're familiar, but apply it to the moment that you would go, oh wow. So, if you ever seen Mickey cry or frustrated, you're going to actually see it happen in these adventures and go, oh man, you could take that Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie and everything of related and just apply it to this particular moment. So he will have emotional breakdowns and frustrations and fears. So everything you see Mickey have done in the past. In fact, we're using the model sheets as our guide to make sure that we follow and we draw Mickey in these heart moments. I mean, I will say we take the opportunity to actually give Mickey a dramatic moment, dramatic moments and a learning lesson in particular adventures that we want to have as if you were watching a Disney film. But you've never got a chance to see Mickey perform. So, I mean, to us, Mickey is an actor, and we're taking Mickey as the actor and putting him, the character that he's played, Mickey himself. First mate Mickey. We're taking first mate Mickey and putting him and giving him these extended moments that he throughout the adventure, and really giving him the opportunity to stretch his acting muscles, so to speak, as a cartoon character. He sees giant creatures, he sees kingdoms, he encounters artificial life of a different form that's ruled by a kingdom, and these different rules that are constrained about it. So there's I will say this one. I'll give you a teaser that he does go to what's called the mirror universe of himself and of what was and what could have been, the world of what was and what could have been. And Mickey takes a hard look at himself, and the relationship between him and Mickey. So that's the sort of thing that you never get a chance to actually explore, but we are. So that's why we want to give an actual ending. There's an actual ending to Steamboat Willie, and where Mickey lies in this, and how much time is going to go from one book to another, because these are done in chapters. Chapter 1 of the first adventure, the first journal, the first ship's log is going to have like 6 to 8 issues, and the next one is 6 to 8 issues. So we're telling these stories in these parts. And we're hoping to clock out each adventure like between 30 minutes of performance. So you can imagine this, having the book, listening to the show, and following along. That's our goal, is to give that, and to give a heartfelt moment. Exactly how I was when I was listening to Power Records, in the corner of my bedroom and playing the record and just in the just really I love that feeling, that immersement, that this is what it's all about. So that's the fantastic world of Steamboat Willie, and hopefully you guys will be on all board. All aboard! Have a ticket.
And
All
believe it or
aboard.
not, that's not all.
Yes. So with that, the world of Fury Frog and Lancelot is its own universe, and Deebs is kind of like a crossover universe that comes in with that world. That's an isolated world. Mickey could possibly exist based upon the story, how we wrote it. He could possibly bump in. Whether or not we will actually do that, who knows? But this is a property that I've been working on, and has been it's been 30, I think 35 years, 37 years. Yeah, it's almost 40 years old. And it's funny that it has to come after Steamboat Willie. But we're gonna start introducing it as Steamboat Willie moves along. You'll hear the world of Midgard. It's a complete fantasy along the lines of Lord of the Rings meets The Secret of Nim. So Mickey is kind of like the introduction of this, but it's on the level of seriousness of Lord of the Rings and The Secret of Nim. So if you like that sort of thing, it is a complete fantasy. And for those who are keen enough in the history of animation, this storyline is for you, because it holds a lot of secrets in both design of characters, relationships, and adventures. It is a big epic story. It's kind of my Star Wars, but with a different form of life form. It's easily followed, and it is fantastic. I love this property. And my son saw it ever since he was a child. He saw me building on this. And the great thing is, if you like, there's a painting that he did. It's the Frank Frazetta painting. It's the Death Dealer. If you like this work of Diego's, you're going to love Midgard, because Midgard is going to look a lot like the Death Dealer painting come to life. Again, it's one of those things where the property allows us to explore certain styles. That's Diego's. That's not Frank Frazetta. That's Diego doing Frank Frazetta. That's Diego's first painting. So
my first digital painting. That was a very it's very intimidating to do, but
yeah,
I think within the world of Midgard, it's this piece kind of captures the tone of what you're gonna witness.
yes, yeah,
It's
what you're in
radically
for.
different than any other. Yes. Like it's
feels
radically
almost-
different than any of our other books and anything we've done thus far.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels almost, I don't want to go too off the rails, but it feels almost more in the vein of like a, what was the one where they battle in Boobopolis and Heavy Metal? There we go. If it feels like, this would be something you could see kind of in that world. In comparative to some of the other artwork we've seen of you guys, yeah, this is distinctly different.
Yeah, we're going for a very serious look. I mean, we want you to be immersed in the tonality of it. It's a story of the beings of Midgard and trying to survive this great exodus that happened, and the consequences that they paid in order to save their beings, the creatures that they are. So in the process of going from our world many eons ago, during the time of the Dark Ages, before history was a group of creatures migrated at the requests of their creators, and basically they tamed the world that they are at the cost of certain things and certain people, certain champions, certain defenders. And we're watching kind of our fall of Anakin Skywalker and the buildup of an empire that comes along with our version of a type of Darth Vader and the legends that the rebels are looking to find to throw the tide of this change in the great warrior that once was.
Will there be an Order 66 where younglings are killed?
Yes, actually. This is like super dark, but there's a secret. Here's the thing. If you pay attention to Midgard, it's going to flip your head around to realize the origin of each of the characters, because as new as these characters are, you will suddenly be very familiar. And if you're part of the secret society of Midgard and keep the secret to yourself, you guys can actually talk to each other in knowing the origin. Once you know the secret and the origin of the story, if you follow it closely, it will spin your head, because then you will read it differently, you will watch it differently, and you in your head. I kid you not. I guarantee that as soon as you know the secret of Midgard, it will turn things around. And once that secret is out, it's kind of like once you know, and you can never go back. It's once you take the pill, that's it. But in the meantime, go on the journey of just this great adventure of the Midgardians trying to find the lost champion to throw it off a fallen champion that saved what once saved their entire race is now become the Darth Vader of amongst them. So now, how do you stop this great champion? Who do you go to when they're the one who basically was once your savior? There you go.
So to be clear, we have over the last number of minutes discussed 6 unique properties. Yes. 5 of them being Lawrence and Diego specific, one of them being Murphy's Inc., which will also be Lawrence and Diego. And something I want to share with the audience, and you and I have talked about this, Lawrence, when it comes to the Murphy's Inc. comic book, this is truly going to be really Lawrence and Diego as well, working on an existing property.
Yeah.
But I am saying, here's the canon, stay true to it, have fun.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about 6 unique properties.
Yes.
So for the thousands in attendance and millions watching around the world, when do they get to see something?
Oh, so as from convention to convention, and as Mark and James announced the convention that are coming up, I say stay tuned, because we're going to start releasing bit by bit of these properties in the form what's called an ash can. Diego, why don't you tell them what an ash can is?
An ash can is essentially the issue 0. It's our teaser for the book. So you get to have a little snippet, kind of like an appetizer of what you're going to get.
So it's maybe like a page, or what it black and white instead of color, or what,
So back in the day, when comic books were originally created, when Superman was actually created, when Captain Marvel, or known as Shazam now, comic books were brought over and done in the form of a black and white book, looking a lot like the soul. And they were mini comic books, and they had some of the pages just to give the stores, the newsstand people who are going to order these comic books, what it's going to look like. And it had also served a different purpose, that the ash cans allowed the publication to reserve the rights to the name, the character design. That's why there is an ash can of Captain Marvel, again known today as Shazam, as the ash can is actually Captain Thunder. So they put out an ash can of Captain Thunder, an ash can of Captain Wiz, and an ash can of Captain Marvel, while they were trying to figure out the name of the comic book. And as well as it went through a series of titles called Wiz Comics and several other titles. So those books are just black and white, and they're tester books, and they kind of give you a feel of both the dialogue and the art style and that sort of thing. Typically, they were done in black and white. Those things actually are now collectibles, because they are only limited they were only limited to actually to sell the book, to get people to say this is what we're doing. If you as a store are interested, be prepared that we'll run these copies. We're creating ash cans that way, which in turn will be available to pick them up at the Comic Cons that we are going to. We'll make announcements, and then as the weeks approach, month to month or week to week, you'll hear from Diego and I, and we'll give artwork to James and Mark to actually see what's coming up. You'll get familiar, and there'll be chase items, and we'll have like cards and little things available to as you watch this show, and only this show will have that. We'll also mention what local comic book stores that will have it through James and Mark. One of our guys here in the Bay Area is Chris Comics in Newark, my hometown. Whoop whoop.
Our hometown.
Our hometown. Whoop whoop. Chris Comics will be one of the main places that you can get ash cans, as well as our Lumpia books, as well as our Blu-ray Lumpia. But
and yes, Jimmy, they will be at Dreamwell as well.
Yes. So ask for them now. Ask for the ash cans, and we'll release them. But the great thing is that you put them together. Diego and I, again, will be hiding secret things in the artwork. We'll be one of the things that I was a big fan is that certain covers come together to make one big poster.
Yeah, it's not a secret now. Good job.
That's one of the things, though, that I've liked. So ranging from what we write in the dialogue and or whatever happens in the different books, look at it very carefully, because we plan to deliver, just make it fun. Growing up with comic books for me, and I share with Diego, we want to hear from you, we want to share from you, and we also want to gift you, which is what I bring up today. I'm going to leave it up to Mark and James that the best responses from the chat mail or best questions that they have every week, they will pull two people. I mean, you could be the same two people all the entire time, but they'll get the chance to actually gift a chance to get original artwork, original piece, original request. So send in your requests, send in your great questions. Respond, and we will respond to any questions that's delivered to both Diego and myself through James and Mark. Like if they say, hey, the best question is like, how did you learn how to draw or whatever? If we answer that, we'll answer it either in person. Diego or myself will come in and answer the question, and then we will gift that person the artwork. So we want this fun. We want you to know that this is what we come from. We love comic books. We love what it's done. It's taught,
and we're interactive.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we want folks to know that James and Mark has been supported. 97 and Now Productions has been a great support to us, and it builds dreams. We just want to inspire folks with the storytelling, the possibilities to look beyond what you thought Mickey was, look beyond what a superhero was, look beyond what a fantasy book was, or horror, as we introduce each facet of our books and stories, and what's the possibility. Lumpia with a Vengeance is truly that, done by a bunch of 14, 15-year-old kids in a group of over the summer with a home camera, and inspired a feature film sequel with Danny Trejo, Machete himself. So you couldn't dream bigger than that, but it happened, and we're hoping to continue that dreaming big and making things big, and supporting is a big deal. It takes fans and folks, to make that happen. Anything you want to add, Diego?
No, I think you got it all.
It's interesting. Diego is clearly, of the two of you, the quiet one, but and Tyrus is joining us. He's on a layover, and Lawrence, Tyrus from the Wayback Machine.
Yes.
But it's interesting, watching the two of you dynamically duoed interact with audiences and things, because Diego, he's very quiet, but what he has to say is so poignant. That's not to say that what Lawrence says is not. It's just Lawrence is the mouthpiece, and it's great because
Excelsior.
well,
Very much so.
Jack Kirby, and yeah, I mean, it's like James and I, right? I'm the brains, and I wish I could say he. I've always said that there's a smart one and a James. Seriously,
Sorry.
killing me. I've always said that there's the smart one and the pretty one, and I don't know which role James fills.
I'm definitely the pretty one.
Well, we know you're not the smart one. So, but I think with the two of you, it's always interesting to observe. I spent 2.5 days alongside you guys at ARICON last year, and just watching the two of you engage with people that come to the table, engaging with us directly. It's a lot of fun because you guys are dynamically different as well in personality, which
But watching them work in tandem is something to see.
Oh, absolutely. Like we were talking about with this piece right here, right? This was very much the two of you working together.
Yes.
And I'm going to bring up the finished piece with all of the color here in just a second. Because we do like to use that piece here on the show to advertise.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is interesting because your styles are different as well artistically, but they blend and they work together so well. And so
a very good example is right behind me. Is like, this is Diego's cover, and this is my cover. And this is truly his painting, and his, I'm just emulating whatever he gives me. But I like it a lot. I like for the fact that I'm getting an opportunity to work with my son, and he shows, like, this piece is fantastic, Diego, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Diego. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to, but Diego, you did the coloring and adding the background and all of that kind of fun stuff, and the foreground with the rocket, for that matter. And I remember seeing this initially, and I was like, "Man, they got the right shade of black on James." That was, how sad is that? That's the first thing I noticed. Not like how awesome everything else is, but you got the right shade of black on James.
Well, he's known me for like 20 years. So.
Oh man, I have to say, because you guys bring up really good points. Because when me and my dad work together, like I primarily do either like the layouts or pencil work, and then my dad does the inking and color. When it comes to that piece, it like really he started it all off, and then me going into color was like, how do I embellish, like how he embellishes my work. And it's never, when I'm working with my dad, I never want to dominate and like go, this is mine now. It's like, it's always like, let's work together. And how do I
move over, old man?
Like how do I
I'm the
heighten
teacher
his
now.
work to be I guess to be the best that it can be. I never want to overly make it too busy or anything like that. And that piece there, I just remember like because it is just a blank empty background on the original that you have, and then I was like going, well, what could I do? And then I immediately thought like, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if like Krypton was exploding? Then I was like, oh, and then put them in the rocket ship, and I just went crazy on that one. And
The fun part
And it
is
worked.
to watch that.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
it's like when it came to even like doing the skin tones and all the different renderings, like for this one, since it is a likeness piece, I obviously like I think I asked you guys to send me either a photo of you, or I might have just pulled them up off of like your guys' socials, and I was just eyeballing it, like going like, okay, I was not color sampling like how some people do.
Mhm.
That one was just me strictly like looking, trying to match, and also and then doing the lighting situation, like, and when that was happening, I would work alongside and bring in my dad and say like, hey, is this dominating your inks? Because the biggest thing is that when he's doing line art like that, I never want it to be like lost, because sometimes when inkers and colorists work together,
Mm.
it can easily be a conflict.
Yeah.
James, did he say inkers and coloreds?
like you never
Colors.
know
Yeah.
when like I think it's trippy within most comic books, or most comic book artists and people who work in the industry today, is that an inker and a penciler, a colorist and a letterer, they're all never typically within proximity. Me and my dad, since we are nearby each other, we could just, either give each other a phone call or send a picture or a text, or you just bring each other in the same room and have a discussion of like, what are we trying to do? And that's kind of the biggest thing within each piece, is that and I think it also reflects within our writing, is that every project is going to be different. There's never really a copy cookie cutter look, but like you'll know it's us, but as the Iriartes, and we will try to look that it's us, but we're not gonna have the same style all the time, because we
Yeah.
want to fit what's the tone.
Yeah, we try to like cater whatever the project that we're working on at that time. And I mean, with these 6 properties, I can guarantee you that Murphy's Inc. is going to be one way. It's our science fiction book. Um, when you start looking at Fury is a completely different other look that we're doing, inspired by certain artists that we want, the certain tone, because it's a lighter book, because it is the Leave It to Beaver, Richie Cunningham of superheroes. We want a certain tone, but at the same time, the high adventure when it comes down to it. And then when you see Deebs is, like I said, the Winnie the Pooh and Harry Potter. There's a complete other tonality that we're going to do, and when I said Godzilla, I really meant it. You're going to see creatures that are just, we're going to take it to town like it's a horror book. So, we're trying to just explore storytelling within our artwork ourselves. And I think that's where, it's fun to work with my son, who we just came from a comic book store, actually. And we talk about the books that are on the shelves and, what excites us. And, I am a kid, I share my love with Diego, and, our excitement for the industry and like who's doing what. And we know that we want to open the eyes to, like someone yourself, Mark, who said like you don't have a comic book background, but we hope to say, I'm a comic book background and I collect the Iriartes. This is the sort of thing that I want to see. Like with Steamboat Willie, you can actually say I collect this book because the Iriartes are doing it, and they're doing it.
You guys have people that follow you to these shows, right?
Oh yeah.
It's gained a following, so pretty dope.
Yeah, so it's Diego has folks that are fans of him, and I have folks who are starting to realize who I am from the past, and which has kind of been interesting whenever I go to a comic book store, not store, but when I go to a comic convention, and then I see a price tag of original artwork on the wall and go, oh, okay. And it's not exactly the person that's with it's just nice to know that it's out there. So but what's even nicer though is doing this work with Diego, and it just makes me feel young, and it makes me feel excited all over again, and we want to share that excitement with 97 to Now Productions, and KaboomCon. We're looking forward to spreading the love, and as well as to every convention that we go to. Come see us, and we can't wait to share the secrets of our stories, and the background and techniques, and just we have such love for this stuff, and and we're thankful. We're thankful for every production that we collaborate on, ranging from Lumpia with a Vengeance, to the Lumpia titles, to 97 Now productions in Murphy's Inc. It's been a blast to stretch out and just do everything in such a new manner, for each other, and exploring different techniques that we can actually do. And it challenges us as well.
Absolutely. And I know we had you for a limited time tonight. And so, I know we need to wrap here. I greatly appreciate you guys coming on. And, I look forward to, over the next number of months, bringing what we've talked about tonight to life. And, I'm excited because, you've shared some outlines and stories with me on these. And, as a fan, I'm excited, and of course, Tyrus is chiming in only about Murphy's because he hasn't been around to hear all of the other properties that you discussed. So, Tyrus, you definitely need to go back and rewatch this entire episode to understand that there were 5 new properties announced tonight that will be coming. Yes,
and I will say, James does an incredible performance of his character. I love his one of the aliens that he does is just fantastic. When his delivery of it was just a blast. I actually play a character called Lord Dottie, and he's vicious and enjoys every moment of his brother's suffering. Greetings, brother. It is good to see you again.
I'm gonna have to do some studying here. I'm gonna have to do some listening back, because it's been a long time.
Oh, 12 years.
Only not 12 years, it sounds like. So.
12 years. But it's, this is what I'm excited about 97 and Now Productions, is to kind of like, there's this world that's not, it has a form, and we're excited to share it with you guys, to get you into the sandbox. And then you'll be, the great thing
That's
is
the one. That's why he's always a kid, because he plays in the sandbox.
Yeah.
That's like he always used to say when we were, come on into the sandbox, let's get to work.
Yep. It's what I love about it for you guys is that you'll be able to see when 97 Now Productions actually starts putting in their talent at work to these 5 different comic book properties, is to actually see the characters. You'll be able to see these characters, and it'll drive your performance. And it's just exciting to me, because Diego and I have been sitting on this for 12 years together for one thing, and then Diego's seen Midgard like ever since he was born, and that's the biggest father and son project that we're doing, is that we're leading up to Midgard, and I can guarantee you it's going to spin your heads. If you like the fantasy world, it's going to take you to another level. If you like Saturday morning stuff, then you're going to go crazy with this, because it takes everything that you familiar with, and then you'll suddenly see it on the page and suddenly hear it. And the story will mean more. There's going to be a lot more meaning. There's some statements that I have, and that you'll get. It's a journey. It really is a journey, and I can understand why J.R. Tolkien has such love for the companions that he has, and the characters that he has, and you clearly feel that. And for Diego and myself, just doing these characters is just like we talk in the code that we have for that we're able to do, and it blows us away and laugh, and it's fun. I would say it's fun. I can't explain how much fun it is, but once the team starts recording and then they're in on the secret, it's going to flip your heads like crazy. So it'll be great, folks. Come on, 97 Now, and the Kaboom Con is going to be a one big fun piece of fun. We're just bringing back the days of when I grew up, and I'm sharing 50 years of love with my son and with you guys, with Kaboom and 97 Now Productions. I want folks to understand why we love doing this. We absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And so, as a quick reminder for everyone, you can come meet and greet the Iriartes, dynamic father-son duo, at Powerhouse Comic Con in Antioch, California, in June. The Silver Age Comic Con in July in Reno. At the Nerds United Con for a Cause in Reno, Sparks as well in August, and of course, Kaboom Con.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Kaboom
kaboom!
Con
And
in September. But I believe, as well, interspersed with all of those, you won't be able to see us necessarily, but we can find you guys
yes,
at San Diego Comic Con.
yes, we're
Yes.
also at San Diego Comic Con as well, and we're encouraging as we go to these cons to reach out to Mark and James. If you want to get on our artist list, please send it ASAP because then we could show up and deliver an original piece done by us. Just DM us or DM Mark and James to make sure that you get on our list. Because we want to put in as much work as possible. We want to put the love into the piece, and we also, with every piece that we do, we give you a certificate of authenticity, a COA, to make sure that you can show folks that this is an original piece. I'm banking on my son. I'm telling you that he's going to be really, really doing a lot of great work in the future. I want to retire, so please hire him so he could do all the dirty work.
And as a matter of fact, I did just hire the Iriartes for a commission piece. So
Yep. So
um,
we're excited to do that. We're adding some special magic that we try to do something cool, something really fun. Our thing. Thank you very much for the Tyrus for the Voltron. That was a lot of fun, and we did it on the spot. So we do these things at a comic book store. If you want us in your hometown, we're open to come to your hometown. We're open to come into your comic book store. We will sit a few hours, share our love for the movie and comic books that we do, and also expose you to the brand new works that we're bringing to you. Learn some secrets, get an art lesson. We go to schools. We've been asked to go to schools. So again, reach out. We love this stuff. We dig this stuff, and we want more artists to know that you can dream big, you can work hard, and sooner or later, the audience will find you, and you guys will connect.
absolutely.
Before we go, Diego, real quick, so people can find you on your socials. What is like your Instagram, your
Yeah, you can check me out at Diego.Iriarte. On Twitch, you could check me out at Diego Illustrates. Same thing with YouTube. There's going to be soon an up and coming like animations and speed painting videos.
okay. And Lawrence do we got something for you?
Lawrence John Iriarte on Instagram is where you can find me right now. Kid Heroes Productions. If you want to talk movies and you want to talk schedules, but reach out to me. You could, but also Diego handles a lot of our scheduling because we do come in as a package team. So reach out to Diego, and we do our commissions together. And we will appear. We will do this and make it happen for you guys. We're taking our list. Our lists are open for the convention. We try to limit down to like 5 to 6 pieces per show. We might be able to squeeze in more, but get in on the list before we attend the comics show in June. Is that right?
June 8th, Powerhouse. July 13th and 14th, Silver Age Comic Con. August 17th and 18th, Con for a Cause, Nerds United. And of course, September 7th.
And send in your questions, folks. Send in your requests to Mark and James, and we want to reward you. We pick out the best question, and we'll do you up really fun and really cool, giving you a personalized piece. This is a very special personalized piece for a guy who loved the turtles and who loves the moose. He rookie. So please just reach out and just keep the dialogue going on, man, because we're about saving shops, making shops stay open, as well as making sure that you dream big and you draw big, you think big, you write big, you perform big, and just give it a go all out.
And just be big.
Take it all in, man. Just take it all in. So, what do you have to say, son? Anything else?
No, I can't say anything after that, Dad. Yours is too inspiring. It's like going up to like Superman and then going like, okay, Robin, now say something.
Okay, Robin, did you want to land anything else here? No, you just kind of moved the planet, for God's sakes. Thanks, Zeus.
Don't tug at Superman's cape.
Here, I'll do a flip.
Look out for us. We're looking for great ideas as far as like characters to draw. No characters too big for us. We want you to have fun.
So really quickly, just before we wrap, I just want to say, so I see
Sound.
I see sound.
Comics.
We've got Deebs,
Yes.
a Harry Potter Winnie the Pooh meets Where the Wild Things Are, Godzilla, the fantastic Fury Frog, an incredible superhero from the Bay Area, leaps into his own destiny. Leaps, love the wordplay. Light Trail, the intergalactic story of an alien war to have its second round against Earth's mightiest hero, a teen boy with amnesia. The futuristic world of Steamboat Willie, Mickey crossed with Lost and Gulliver's Travels, as well as some Jules Verne's adventures.
No, it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
You are correct. The fantastic world
Fantastic
of
world,
Steamboat Willie and Midgard, a separate epic fantasy along the lines of Lord of the Rings meets Secret of Nymph.
Yes. So be prepared. We will start the announcements of the ash cans. We only are doing limited runs. Everything that we do with myself and Diego is limited runs because we want to make sure it's special. And it becomes a collectible. It becomes an instant collectible for you guys. We want people to have that experience to seek out for them. And we're taking in ideas. Like if you want to see, hey, I want a Fury shirt. I want to see this sticker. I want to see that. If you want, just let us know and we'll make it special. That's what we did we listened as we've done in the past for the Lumpia line. We want to make sure that we're listening to your requests. We want to open the door for you folks to have fun and live the world that I lived when I grew up in comic books 50 years ago. We want to bring it back. We want to remind everybody that it's to entertain the imagination of the child in yourself, the child in you, and the future children of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Well, again, thank you, Lawrence, Diego, for being with us tonight here on the Fat and Black Connection. It's been fantastic. I hope that some folks out there are excited for this future of what is to come from you, gentlemen. I look forward to having you guys on more in the future, especially as we move forward to these cons, move forward to bringing these ash cans to life, and move forward to bringing issue 1 of each of these things to life. So stay tuned, folks. It's coming, and it's going to be hot and heavy. This is the year, Lawrence. This is the year.
The Iriarte.
This is the year, Diego.
It's the year of the Iriarte.
All right. James, you got anything else?
Nah, man.
All right. Well, then you know what to do.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next week. We out.